Yo guys, so following all this interest about investing, I thought about it. Maybe I could, do like a close Telegram group where we talk about all sorts of different stocks, right? Create a support group to help everyone to invest. Everyone just pay a little bit every month. Idea, right? So yes, if you are interested in something like that, a close Telegram group where we share information and learn from each other, just ring me up on Telegram, talk to us on Facebook, and we'll see what we can do, right? And this week, I'm gonna share with you 3 things you need to be a good investor. Right? Don't be surprised at some of the points. I hope you learned something useful today. So good morning everyone. I welcome you to another day with the Financial Coconut. In our podcast, we'll be debunking financial myths, discovering best financial practices, discussing financial strategies that fits our unique life. You get it! Ultimately empowering us to create a life we love while managing our finances well. And this week, we're going to talk about 3 things you need to be a good investor. Honestly, I think there are many things you need to be a good investor. But today I've decided to share with you 3 things. 3 pointers that I feel you need to be a good investor. And of course, these 3 pointers were shared with me by a very good friend of mine, which is also the guy that got me started to invest. Of course, I saved some money and then I didn't know what to do with it. And I asked this person because he looked like he knew what he was doing, and turns out he really knew what he was doing, and I learned a lot of great stuff. Of course, along the way, I refined things along, to fit my preference, to fit my strategy, but, many of the things are still, forms the base of where I am, and these are some of the stuff that I've been sharing with you. I'm going to continue to share with you. Next week, we're going to go deep into financials. How do you then pick a good company looking at their financial statements, right? And then the following, we're going to talk about more qualitative kind of, evaluation, because financial is quantitative, right? So I hope you continue to stay tuned for the next few weeks and share with your friends, get more people to listen to the podcast. I hope everyone learns, and we don't need to get scammed by all these weird people like what ragingbull.com rubbish. I just saw him on Facebook. I saw on YouTube disturbing my food video. But anyway, yes. So tons of weird content out there. Of course, there are tons of great people out there also, but more often than not, they're not that good. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about how then do you become a good investor. So my very first point can sound very stupid, but I'm going to share with you why. So stay with me, okay? Stay with me. And the first thing I feel you need to be a good investor is this thing called luck. Are you still here? Yeah. Why is luck so important? Of course, needless to say, sometimes you're hypothesizing and you want luck to be on your side. But more important, why I feel that we need to recognize that luck is a very important thing to become a good investor. It's because we need to realize that there are many things that we cannot control. I think there's too much fascination in the market to want to have a lot of control, to believe that, I have this very complicated evaluation model, very complicated business model, financial projection, then I can control everything. I can understand, I know when to go in, what's the right price to buy in at. I'm like, oh my God. There are a lot of moving elements, and too many people, I personally feel too many people do not factor in the uncertainty, and they try so hard to put so much data to essentially make them feel comfortable buying a certain thing. But what we need to realize is that there are many things we cannot control. I'm going to share with you some. So the first thing, some cases that happened throughout the years. In 2015, Chipotle had a super massive E. coli outbreak over 7 states. People stopped going to eat, shares came down, revenue came down, growth came down. Yeah. Who know, right? Who knew E. coli will come and knock your door? Well, E. coli, okay, never mind. I was just about to say E. coli sounds like a good name. But no, it's not a good name. Don't name your kids E. coli. But yes, Chipotle in 2015 had a very big problem. But over time, they solved it. And fundamentally, they're very strong. And look at where they are today. They doubled their share price from about $200-$300. Now they are trading about $800 plus, right, at time of recording. And another case in point is Under Armour. Everyone knows Under Armour. You know, you go to the gym, you see this person wearing Under Armour, right? All tight, fit one. Anyway, in 2017, during the holiday season, they over-indent. They bought too much stock, right? Then they couldn't sell. So, a very big problem with fashion business. When you over-indent, you need to drop your stock. If not, you cannot turn around. You have too much money locked inside all these, product, and you cannot sell it. So they have to go to discount outlet, and they still cannot sell it. And over time, they got cash flow problem, and it affected their business. All right, this one, like sway lah, huh? It's like you think everyone wants this. You're on a roll. Quarter after quarter, you're showing double-digit growth, and then suddenly during the holiday season, nobody wants to buy. And then the worst one is the recent one, Boeing crash. Crash after crash after crash. Aiyo, alamak, 2019, 737 MAX crash. Like how? All these things, right? How to control? So we need to realize that luck sometimes is not on our side. And the most important thing to realize is that there are many things we cannot control. And to me, that is a vital element of being a good investor. To recognize that there are uncertainty and, it's not always our fault. Very important. Which brings me to my second point, which is emotional capacity. A lot of people look at investing as a science, but more often than not, I feel that there are a lot of art elements, and one of those elements are your emotional capacity. Because there will always be times that you're on the wrong side of the trade. Right? There will always be times that suddenly coronavirus come. There will always be times that suddenly Trump unhappy, then he tweet, right? Then shit happens. Right, you get the idea. There will always be times when you're not on the right side of the trade, when you're unlucky lah, for lack of a better way to put it. What sets a good investor apart from someone else that is like a bad investor lah, or just average person, is the kind of emotional capacity that you have. How well do you handle this kind of situation? Do you do emotional buying? Right? Do you become very FOMO, like now the Tesla price go up, then everybody buy, then you're also emotional, you go and buy, you FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Or you do emotional selling when everyone sells and things go south and you just sell, right? So to me, this is extremely important because there are times when you're not on the right trade line, you're not on the right side. So to me, there are two ways to do this, okay? One is to find your meditative state, right? If like for me, if I feel pressure, I go and swim. That helps me to clear my mind, to think, to get a better grasp of the situation. Right? And another thing that you can do is to get a few people to do this thing together. I feel this is one of the easiest way to, become emotionally more capable within handling complex situation, because you're not alone, and that is very important. Of course, you don't want everybody to be on the wrong side of the trade lah. Huh? All your friends, all kaki, they're all on the wrong side of the trade, a bit sway. But having that kind of community and that kind of support group helps the kind of emotional, to manage emotional situation, right? And that probably is what sets a good investor apart from a great investor, to be emotional capable. Which brings me to my third point. What sets you apart and what do you need to be a good investor? Is this thing called a business acumen. So there has long been debate between the technical people, that means your day trader, they buy, sell, whatever they do, and then the fundamental people, which are people like me. We look at the businesses and then we decide that, okay, this is a good business, we want to buy at a fair price for the long term. Right, so to me, I'm a fundamental investor. If you are technical, I honestly don't consider you an investor. I consider you a trader or speculator at best. Alright, so if you're like me, you want to be an investor, you want to invest in the long term, you're more fundamentals, then business acumen is very important, because picking good companies, picking good stocks, which is essentially picking good companies, require you to understand the business. Right? If you don't understand what you're buying, you hearsay, hey, Hot tell me, buy this one, I think very good. Hey, Amau say buy that one like Beipai. Then, half the time you probably knock the wall. Right? Insider trading. Go and listen to the episode that I talk about why people go bankrupt on the stock market. And one of the things is because of insider trading. Right? By the time the information come to you, you're so outside, and you still think it's an insider information. Alamak. But anyway, yes, grow your business acumen. It takes time. It takes time. No hurry. Start with something you are familiar. Maybe you work for a media company. Maybe you work for an engineering firm. Maybe you work in a tech field. For whatever industry that you work in, or for whatever passion that you have, you probably understand that sector a bit more, right? You understand the feel a bit better, and that could give you a head start, because numbers alone, right, they don't make sense. You need to understand the business, right? So what if revenue keeps going up and you don't understand why revenue keeps going up? Then you're like, 到底是什么事啊? Like, what's happening? Am I making a good bet? Emotionally, you're not comfortable, right? So take your time, build up your business acumen. One of the best ways is to read financial statements. They are not that difficult to read. There are a lot of complex terms within it. Take your time to read, right? Find something that you'll be interested. Whether it's Nike, right? You love sneakers, consider buying Nike. It's a very good company. You're always on Facebook. All your friends are on Instagram. Okay, look at Facebook as a stock. I think it's a pretty good business. You are always buying using your card, digital payment. Maybe look at PayPal. PayPal's a pretty good business also. So all these things based on what you are all daily using, or maybe you're a Starbucks fan, right? Always go to Starbucks, and maybe you want to look at Starbucks as a business, right? So things that you use very often, or industries that you work in, are a good place for you to start building your business acumen, because you have interest in that sector, right? Don't right from the start go and study pharmaceuticals or like military companies. All those are super complicated, and if you don't understand and you're not interested, you probably give up halfway. So start with something you're interested in and build your business acumen, because that is what you need to be a good investor. Which sums up my day. I'm going to finalize these 3 points to be: point number 1, luck; point number 2, emotional capacity; and point number 3, business acumen. These 3 things are what I believe you need to be a good investor. And if you find that there are other good points, do share with me, and let's grow as a community. And I hope you learned something useful today. See ya. Hey, I hope you learned something useful today, and truly appreciate that you took time off to better your life with a financial coconut. Knowledge is that much more powerful and interesting when shared, debated, and discussed. I hope you will share what you've gained with people you love that want to hear from you. Give me some questions and help me along with building a community of financially savvy coconuts. I hope together we can fulfill our curious minds and our desire for clarity. Email me at thefinancialcoconut@gmail.com, or message me on Facebook, or join our community Telegram group. I will do my best to address your questions in a future podcast series, especially if many people are concerned about the same topic. With that, have a great day ahead, stay tuned next week, and always remember, personal finance can be chill, clear, and sustainable for all.